Welcome to the final part of Grade 7 Linear Equation. And this section will be related to Skills 3, which is about fraction level 2. That means the very difficult fraction equation. So this is a 4-star question. Okay, so let's begin. For question 13, I think this question related involves some skills of 通分母, which means the common denominator. Okay, so I think there is one more trick apart from having the common denominator. So let's look at the question together. So firstly, I just copied the original question for clarity. Okay, so this is over 2. This is over 1 actually. 5x means 5x over 1. So the denominator are actually different. So we cannot perform the subtraction directly. So what we need to do is to make them to have a common denominator. So I think you can imagine that there is a hidden over 1 here, and if we want to have a common denominator, we should have a multiply 2 on the top and in the bottom, right? The denominator and the numerator. So finally, after I multiply 2, I can get 10x. After I multiply 2, I can get a 2 in the denominator. And then x plus 1 over 2, I will just copy it directly. So after that, I can do the subtraction now because the denominator are exactly the same. Okay, but there is one thing I want to remind you because we can imagine in this way. This is minus. And x plus 1 being subtracted together. They face the minus together. So actually there is a hidden bracket here. So if you want to combine the fraction, I think what you need to do is minus bracket x plus 1. You need to add this bracket. This bracket is very, very important. You can imagine this way. X plus 1 will face the minus together. They will 共同進退, being subtracted together. So if we know that there is a bracket, that means we need to use the rainbow method tricks, the removing bracket tricks. So you know that will be 10x minus x minus 1 instead of plus 1. Because minus multiply plus 1, we have minus 1. After that, I think you can move the 2 to the right-hand side, become times 2. 1 times 2 become 2, because we move the divide by 2 to times 2, okay? So 10x minus 1, I think you can group the 10x minus x, become 9x. And the minus 1, move it to the right-hand side, become plus 1. 2 plus 1 become 3. Okay, we just move the minus 1 to the right and group the terms. And finally, you can move the 9 to the right-hand side, become over 9, divided by 9. So of course, this is not the final answer. I think you need to give me one more step for simplification. So that will be 1 over 3. So I think this is quite difficult because there are 2 important skills. The first one is expanding the denominator and the numerator by the same number. Maybe multiply 2 to make it to have a same denominator. And the second reminder will be the bracket. They being subtracted together. Okay, 共同進退. So we have a bracket here. And don't forget to do the rainbow method, the removing bracket skills, and move it, and you can get the final answer. So this question is actually very, very similar. So we should have a common denominator before we go to the subtraction for fraction. So there is a 4 here, but we don't have a 4. But we know that there is a hidden 1 in the denominator. So we multiply 4, we have 4x over 4 by converting this guy to this. Now we have the common denominator. So we can combine the fraction to be one single fraction. But we know that 4x minus 3 minus 2x will be subtracted together. They face the minus together. So they are one family. They're being subtracted together. So we have a bracket here. They face the challenge together. Okay? So, and then we can rainbow the minus to the bracket. And what we can get in the numerator will be 4x minus 3 minus 2x. Because minus rainbow to minus 2x, we have plus 2x. So if we move the 4 to the right, we have 4 times 2. Okay? So which is 8. And the numerator, we just copy it and do the calculation in the next step. 4x plus 2x, that will be 6x. Minus 3, go to the right, become plus 3. So 8 plus 3 become 11. So if we move the 6 to the right, become 11 divided by 6. So I think this marks the end of this question. So let's move on to the question 15. So question 15 actually that is very similar, but you find that there are two separate terms in the numerator. So that there is one important reminder for this type of question. The reminder is we just multiply 2 to make a common denominator. So we multiply 2 here, nothing special. But for the numerator, when we multiply 2 for the numerator, I think we should bear in mind that there should be a bracket. Because they are one single family and they will receive the multiply 2 together. You will receive the multiply 2, you will also receive the multiply 2. Okay, don't forget that there is a hidden bracket here. So after multiply 2, the answer, the numerator will be 2x, not plus 2, okay? That will be plus 4. Can you get it? Every number you need to multiply by 2 because this is a family. They will receive the multiply 2 together. So 4x minus 1. Okay, when we combine the fraction, I think you already know that there is a trick. There is a trap actually. Yeah, this trap. They are one family, so we should add a bracket to enclose the x minus 1. Can you get it? They are one single family and they will face the challenge together, the minus. So if we distribute the minus to the bracket, I think what you can get is minus x minus minus 1, which is plus 1. And then we move the divided by 4 to the right hand side, become times 4. 1 times 4 become 4. And then we try to copy the numerator directly without doing any calculation. So 2x minus x, which is x. Plus 4 plus 1 become plus 5, or you can actually move it to the right hand side and become minus 1 and minus 4. So finally you can get, that will be minus 1. Okay, so one more reminder for you, when you multiply 2 for numerator and denominator, don't forget to multiply 2 for every term, okay? Or you can add a bracket. So for this question, actually, I just give you 3 more questions for practice. So if you want to make a common denominator, I think this is a little bit different. Because when you do the first few questions, you only need to do the common denominator skills for the first term. But for the second term, you just keep it unchanged. So for this question, you find that 2 and 3, actually we should multiply and do some treatment on both fractions. So for this fraction, maybe I will just do it directly. I can multiply 3 and I can multiply 2 for the second fraction so that they can have 6 as the common denominator. So if I multiply 3 here, I should multiply 3 on the numerator as well. So I can get, maybe I will do it slowly, okay? I will multiply 3 on the numerator as well. I multiply 3 for the denominator already. And then minus. For 3 becomes 6, I should multiply 2 here. So multiply 2 and multiply 2. So on the top, that will be 2 multiply x plus 2 because I multiply 2 on both sides. So on the right hand side, it remains unchanged. So I want to do the rainbow method. So you can do the rainbow method, which is 9x minus 3. And we do the rainbow, the removing bracket, 2 distribute. We have 2x plus 4. So don't forget, do you know what it will be the trap in the next row? I think everyone can figure out that when we combine the fraction to one fraction, they will face the minus together. So that means I need to add a bracket here to ensure that they will receive the minus together. So that will be minus 2x minus 4, because minus multiply plus 4, which is minus 4. So if we move the 6 to the right, that will be 6 multiply minus 1, which will be minus 6. And we copy the numerator because only the numerator left. We move the denominator to the right already. So combine it, we have 7x. Minus 3 minus 4, we have minus 7. And then we can move the minus 7 to the right. Become minus 6 plus 7, which is 1. multiply 7 become divided by 7. So this will be the final answer. Okay. So 2 more questions for you to treat it as a practice, but I think for question 17, it is very similar to question 16. So I think I will make it short and do it quickly. So for this, I want to make them a common denominator, which is 20. So I will multiply 5 here, so it becomes 20. Multiply 5 here, we have a bracket, so we have 15x. We multiply 5 for the minus 2 as well, so minus 10. Okay, be careful. And for the 5, we make it to 20. Multiply 4 in both sides, on both sides, so we have 4x minus 4 equals 3. Okay, so when we combine the fraction together, don't forget that there will be a bracket here. So you will have 15x minus 10 and then minus 4x plus 4 equals, we move the 20 to the right, become 60 because they will be multiplying. So 11x, after I combine these two terms, and after I combine these two terms, there will be minus 6. So if we move the minus 6 to the right, that will be 66. If we move the 11 to the right, that will be divided by 11, which means the answer will be 6. Okay, so this question is very similar to the previous question. So for the final question on this subsection on grade 7 linear equation, I think that will be question 18. So on the right, you find that there will be an ugly guy on the right-hand side. So let's see how we can deal with it. So for 3 and 4, the common denominator will be 12. So we will multiply 4 for this. So after I multiply 4, that will be 8x minus 12. If I want to make it 12, so I will need to multiply 3. So multiply 3, we have 3x, multiply 3 minus 6. So after we get this row, we need to combine the fraction together. We have 12 here. So whenever we combine the fraction, we need to add a bracket here. They face the minus together. And then we can have 8x minus 12 minus 3x, because we do the removing bracket skills again, and there will be plus 6. So if we want to get rid of the fraction, we need to move the 12 to the right-hand side so that we can have a single layer equation. So move the 12 to the right-hand side. I think you know that will be multiplying. So 12 multiply x minus 2. So we can move the 12 to the right. And then we can combine the like term on the left and rainbow method on the right. We do the removing bracket and on the right. So 8x minus 3x, we become 5x. Minus 12 plus 6 become minus 6 equals, we do the rainbow method, we have 12x minus 24. And we move all the terms with x to the left. All the terms without x to the right. This is minus 24, move it to be plus 6, so that will be minus 18. And that will be minus 7x on the left. So finally, you will have a minus 18 divided by minus 7, and the answer will be 18 divided by 7 finally. Okay, so that's just the end for the first chapter. So I hope that you can get familiar with those content for solving equation. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.